Hi, it's Dr. Phyllis. Welcome back to the Joy Fueled Resilient Woman podcast. I am going to be starting a 3-part series about the power of silence. And as I was out walking this morning, thinking of you and thinking of what I wanted to share with you, I thought of a series of questions that I want to ask you. When was the last time that you sat in complete silence? Be it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, maybe even an hour. When was the last time you sat in total silence? Now, I understand that if you have children, a spouse, partner, significant other, or caregiving responsibilities, or you are bombarded with a lot of different things, it may be difficult, but I really want you to stop and think. When was the last time? Even though I understand it, but when was the last time that you sat in silence or were in silence? What do you do when you wake up in the morning? Do you immediately look at your phone and start scrolling through the phone? Something catches your eye, or someone has texted you, or there's a story that comes up and you find yourself on the phone? Or do you wake up to an alarm and there's music, or there's news, or you wake up and you just start going in the day? What about when you're in your car, or you're riding the train, or you're riding the bus, or even getting ready in the morning? When was the last time you did it in silence? And how did it make you feel? Yes, I'm still here. I got quiet for a moment. How did that make you feel? That all of a sudden it went quiet. Did you automatically start trying to adjust the volume, or you wondered if something was wrong? The reason I ask is you're not alone. I've had to catch myself sometimes where I could have started with a good reason. I do my Bible study in the morning. I listen to an inspirational message. And even when I'm walking the dog, I usually have something in my ear. But there's sometimes my brain is tired of having information coming in. And also, I stop because I realize that I'm missing out on hearing the birds, the rustling of the wind in the trees, that I forget to look up and see the beautiful stars. And when I'm in the car, sometimes I'm just tired of listening and I just need quiet. And I do it. Now, I haven't always been that way. It took me training myself. And that's what I want to talk to you further about today is the courage to be uncomfortable in silence. Do you feel uncomfortable when you're in silence? Maybe it feels strange because you're so used to there being people around or noise around. But as your coach, I want to offer you something for your consideration. Do you feel uncomfortable in silence because there is a fear or apprehension, a discomfort with thoughts that might come up, worry that will come up, narratives that will come up, or your mind will start turning over where you wish you were or what you wish you were doing, or or thinking about how there's so many things that have happened in life that seem out of control. And so when you feel that way, do you find yourself running to find something to listen to, something to jump into, be it calling someone or, again, looking for something on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram or maybe TV or something else to fill the space? Have you ever felt afraid of your thoughts? And so you feel safer when you have background noise going on, so to speak? I want you, and I pray for you, to have the courage to be uncomfortable in silence. Because in that silence is where you begin to start unlocking your joy. And I will be the first person to say it's not necessarily, when you're first starting out, fun, because it can be uncomfortable. Yet also, when you recognize that your brain is really, in a way, like that computer, right? That can crash because it's just too much information going in. And then you actually end up having this hamster wheel that you feel that your life has become, because you're running, that the hamster wheel becomes in your mind. Have you ever felt like that, where your mind just won't stop racing? And it just keeps racing. And then you feel like you can't get off the hamster wheel or get off the treadmill because you just don't know how to pull the lever. And that's why one of the first steps is getting quiet and having that courage to be uncomfortable in the silence. Because you have to be uncomfortable so that God can do what he needs to do to help you in your transformation. Because it's in those quiet times that over time, the more you do it, there's actually a comfort, there's a joy that can come. Once you have a chance to stop and realize that all that you have on your plate is not all there is. As I was mentioning, is there's a rejuvenation, a replenishment that can happen when you rest your brain. And there's no shame in resting your brain. There's no guilt. It should not be any guilt to just be quiet. But it can be scary, as I said, because there often could be some thoughts and maybe feelings of being less than, or as I was saying earlier, feelings of worry that we continually suppress, thinking if we just keep running the race, right? And we keep sucking it up, all the things that happen, the losses, the disappointments, if we just keep running, if we just keep our mind preoccupied, if we just keep suppressing feelings, you feel like you'll be all right. You'll deal with them later. But the reality is, sis, it's not going to get better until you stop and get quiet. And one of my major missions is to help you create space. To create space in your mind and your spirit so that you can be the best and have your best life with the least amount of regrets, and to be replenished and refreshed and refueled for this new season. And I think this is especially important as when I'm recording this, it's in the fall, and I'm actually recording this in November. And we're getting ready for the holidays. And already I noticed that I was watching something very briefly today. Actually, I think it was, I don't know if it was on TV or if it was on, it must have been on TV. I had passed through one of the rooms of the house and they were showing this woman who was just so excited because she was running in to take the Thanksgiving, the fall wreaths down and hurry and get up the Christmas wreaths. And I was actually in the store earlier today, and actually, you know what? I think it was in the store. I went to go to the store, and they have little videos showing in the store, and they're trying to get everybody in the mood for Christmas to start buying, right? And they already have Christmas stuff out, and haven't even had Thanksgiving yet for those of us in the US. But that's something else that if you're not careful, you will jump into that, right? And there's nothing wrong with it. Yet I think that's my opinion. It seems like we're moving the holiday celebrations up earlier in the year because people are craving some positivity. They're craving some joy. They're craving something to be hopeful for. And what it does is it distracts from doing the personal growth work. And that's what I am dedicated to help you create space so that you can do the personal growth, that you have the courage to do the personal growth, The same growth that you push everybody else to do and you encourage and pour into everyone else, I want you to do for yourself. So again, you can live your best life and be fueled by joy in the midst of all that you do. And so this week, I want you to have the courage to be uncomfortable in silence. I want you to really take an inventory. I want you to take a look at, what do you do when you first get up in the morning or you wake up in the morning? Now, if you're like me, as I said, before I even get up, I like to listen to my Bible study. I start then listening to an inspirational message. I'm usually getting up by then. When I walk the dog, I try to listen to something, but I also try to make sure that I have some quiet built in so that God can talk to me and I can get my mind together for the day. And throughout the day, I try to make sure I'm not always driving with something going on the radio. And because that's when God can speak to you. That's when he speaks to me. So again, I want you this week to do two things in summary. Two things. Really be an active observer of what you have going in your ears in those in-between times. Are you getting sucked into the scrolling? Are you getting sucked into other distractions going into your mind? Is everything going into your ears what is necessary for you to do what you need to do? And where is there opportunities? Secondly, where are there opportunities that you could create some silence? When your brain is telling you you've had enough and your brain is tired, maybe the best thing you can do, I really do feel, is don't try to find something to go jump into as a distraction, but get quiet. Rest your brain. Rest your eyes. And get quiet. And I will be praying for you this week that as you are getting quiet, that you'll be courageous and know that God is there. And I'm praying for you so that you can open your ears, open your eyes, and open your heart to what God is trying to tell you. And in the part 2 and part 3 of this series, I'm going to be talking about further what can happen to help you when you're in silence. So I hope that you've enjoyed this first part of this series, the courage to be uncomfortable in silence and know you got this. God's got your back. I'm thinking of you. I'm here for you. Please share this episode if it was helpful to you. Tell everybody about it, all those resilient women that you know that really could benefit from infusing their life with joy. Because we want to grow our community of joy-fueled, resilient women. I love you. I see you. And I'll meet you back here next week for the Joy-Fueled, Resilient Woman podcast. Take care now.